blossom with grace and compassion. My strategy spans centuries for those I silently guard. From ashes to empress, my rebirth is eternal. The Phoenix reigns!
ये तारा इनको बहुत ही ज्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे परफेक्ट।
In time immemorial, the endless war destroyed the balance between yin and yang, plunging the Cadia Riverlands into chaos. As catastrophe loomed, a woman of destiny stepped forth, casting aside divinity for the plight of mortals.
Sacrifice for a fleeting moment of peace in the mortal realm. Does thine heart not regret?
To protect the realm. What is there to regret?
This day, destiny descends once more. Zutian the Ordained, of untold merit and unbound benevolence, preserver of peace and prosperity, unfaded by time. This day, let heaven and earth bear witness as the Phoenix ascends the throne, a realm united toward a new golden age.
From time forgotten to the new dawn, as long as I breathe, Shandu shall never fade!
Now you'll be the best sniper ever!
I'm sorry.
Leave me alone.
No! It's a decoy! Ever since that day, I vowed to keep you safe.
Rule with strength and conviction. Blossom with grace and compassion. My strategy spans centuries for those I silently guard. From ashes to empress, my rebirth is eternal. The Phoenix reigns!
ये तारा इनको बहुत ही ज्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे परफेक्ट।
In time immemorial, the endless war destroyed the balance between yin and yang, plunging the Cadia Riverlands into chaos. As catastrophe loomed, a woman of destiny stepped forth, casting aside divinity for the plight of mortals.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, welcome back to the Mythic Showdown Season 1. And we're going to be jumping into basically the last match of the Swiss stages. We've had multiple rounds. Basically, we're coming down to the round 5, and this is going to be the last match, the last qualifying team to see who gets into the playoff stages. 7 teams already there. It's the 8th and the last one, and we are going to be witnessing either Anarchy or Rayuga take that spot. And it's going to be a best of 3 series as usual. And we're going to be seeing who gets the spot. Overall, into the casting desk, it's going to be myself, Ray, and I'm going to be your caster and your host both. And I'm going to be joined by this beautiful lady over here, Sarah. Peachy was not able to make it, but it's all okay. Sarah and me will take it over, right?
Yes, sir. Hello and good evening to everyone out there because we are here today with the very last match of the Swiss stage and it couldn't be more exciting. Anarchy, one of the new lineups, and yet they have shown so much prowess by defeating Lafukabi and then moving up until here. And then there's Rayuga, the underdogs of the mainland server, of the entirety of the Indian community, and they are out here taking on Anarchy. So both of these teams, they are gonna be playing it out today to show why either of them deserve that last slot into the playoffs, and that is exactly what we will be witnessing, right?
Absolutely, Sarah, and we are obviously looking forward to it, and it's gonna be an exciting game overall. Because I feel like, considering the fact that it's an all or nothing, the last time we had, I think it was it the untitled match? Yeah, it was the untitled match, and it went straight up for like 24 minutes. Like 3 games, 24 minutes. Can you imagine? It was because either of the teams were not willing to lose. They were so hell-bent persistent to make sure they stay alive, even just for a little bit more. But of course, at the end, there can only be one victor. And unfortunately, one team has to go out, right? So it's going to be really interesting how these tonight are we going to be seeing the same persistence, the same unbending will, or are we going to be seeing the one be a little bit overwhelming from the other, considering both of these teams are in a weird spot, right, Sarah? Because Rayuga over here, they're a wildcard team, yet somehow they have been performing better than some mythic teams, I would say. On the other hand, though, Anarchy has veteran players, but it is basically a new formation, right? They're not exactly eliminators anymore because few pieces are missing, but few new pieces have joined in. So we've been seeing their performance so far. It's been pretty great. Let's see what they do in the last round of Swiss stage, Sarah.
Absolutely, Ray. Couldn't have said it better myself. And as we are preparing with these teams just getting ready and joining in the lobby, we out here, we can talk about their usual drafts. Rayuga, they like to go in for a very specific kind of gameplay. Vishal and Rocco, they'll pick up on those frontliners and zone the entirety of their enemies away, while Chocolate Chan, he'll go in for the split push and succeed at it, while Rustin on that goal lane just shreds the enemy to pieces. Meanwhile, Anarchy, they have a solid game plan of their own too. They rely on their jungle quite a lot, and Art makes such like the plays which Art makes on the chip, on the Kalia, the Jawhead, or the Grok. Those are very remarkable. Quite easily makes him one of the top roamers in India.
Absolutely, Sarah. And right now we're going to be diving into the draft phase of game number 1. And of course, I love the analysis that you gave out from the Rayuga. I absolutely agree with you. One of the most like the main base point that I've been noticing, they really love to go for that 4-1 rotation. They love making the opponents busy. Well, Chocolate Chan over here onto the opposite side of the map, he chunks down the turrets and steal a few resources from them. It has been a classic thing they've been doing from the wild card, and they have been succeeding in a lot of games. Sometimes, though, they get countered out by teams that have a little bit better of a macro. But let's see how it happens. Right now, we're starting off with the draft phase, and definitely we're going to be seeing the ban with the Harriet, especially with the new patch. I definitely think the Rafaela, sorry, not Rafaela, the Lapu Lapu and the Uranus are gonna be the priority bans, and Granger would still be a priority pick despite so many changes. He's still a very favorite marksman for, I feel like, both of these teams, right, Sarah?
Yep, you are right about that. Both Crisis and Rustin, they love that Granger and they would do anything to play him. But the patch which came out today, they have literally nerfed the hero down to the ground. The dash, it's practically non-existent. The damage, it was nerfed, and even the movement speed from the first skill just gone down to shreds. So obviously, they would really have to play it out strategically and decide if they really want that Granger anymore or not, or are they going to be picking up a different goal laner? Maybe the Ixia, the Irithel, they are still quite good.
Yeah, but despite the nerfs, I know a lot of people would be upset, like, hey, the Granger got nerfed. I feel like the thing that really makes him formidable, I mean, we did receive another dash range nerf on his ultimate too, right? But it didn't shake him off. So I think what's really affecting is its stack mechanic. Once you get the stacks, you just spam so much, it just doesn't really matter what your opponent is doing when they're just getting poked to the bits and they're forced to go back. And of course, there's the broken Skybracer. Granger's synergy with the Skybracer is nasty and disgusting. Once he gets the stacks up, there's just no stopping this marksman. And I feel like these two criterias have been making him a very formidable goal laner. But I think you're absolutely right about the fact that they have to be strategic. Maybe not exactly commit to a first pick Granger, but he still remains a reliable option. To be fair, just like you said, other marksmen, they're also rising to the meta. So we could see something new into the list. And Asuyo Ben, is that paying respect to Chocolate Chan over here, Sarah?
Yep, I do think they are doing that because that boy has been quite excellent on whatever jungle he plays, and Suyo is definitely at the top of that list. But then again, Rayuga definitely banning out on those EXP and roam options, specifically the Badang and the God of Kacha. Probably a Phoebus or Uranus next. Maybe even the Lapu Lapu is quite possible. On the hands of Anarchy, though, they might go ahead with the Granger. And yep, there it is. Like we were talking about it, definitely just banning out the Granger right away.
Yeah, because we've seen Rustin just decimate his opponents easily. I remember he had a KD of like 15-0 or something, or maybe it was 17. I am forgetting the specific details, but yeah, Rustin, I remember his Granger just destroying one of the opponent teams, and they don't want that to be facing. I think they are prioritizing something else. A possible Lapu Lapu, Uranus, Phobias. It could be either because the Farsa has gotten banned out. So I think it's gonna be either of those three. But let's see, because wait a second, Matilda is left out open. Do you think Art will be picking it up, Sarah?
It is just a very big possibility, but considering the fact that the Baxia is open, I do think that Anarchy would like to prioritize that hero. Like we have seen in the previous rounds, you pick a Baxia, you win, unless the enemy is just a very big tank shredder kind of composition, which I think is going to be quite possible because given the path changes, Export could very well be picked up by Rayuga right here and now. They could counter the Baxia quite well. But then again, we will have to see, is Rocco and Chocolate-chan going to play to their comfort picks? Are they going to pick up on that Phobius in the EXP, the Hylos in the Roam, and something like that? Maybe even the Kalia, that's still open for them.
You're actually bringing up a really good point. The Kalia could be a good thing, like picked off. That is poetic, isn't it? But okay, the commit to the Uranus makes sense. They want some sustain into that, obviously, EXP lane. It's going to go into the hands of Vishal, and Chocolate-chan goes in very early with a Joy. Interesting enough, the Phobius still out open, so Anarchy can pick it up, utilize the fact that Joy has the dashes, and obviously bounce around in those team fights. But there's also a chance to see a Lapu Lapu. I'm honestly looking forward to the jungler because with the buff to the Roger and Yushin Shen, I feel like they're really good options overall. But hey, let's see. The Hayabusa are still on the table as well. So either of these three could be coming in any second. But just like you've mentioned, comfort picks or they want to make for counters, it really depends on what they're going to be deciding. I'm thinking they will most likely going to go for an EXP and jungler right now from the hands of Anarchy. What do you think, Sarah?
Yep, I
Oh
agree
no.
with you there. Oh, wow. But then again, Anarchy being Anarchy just disregards everything else. They pick up on the Lapu towards the EXP. Quite the strong pick, I would say, especially against the Uranus, since the Uranus, the amount of sustain that hero has, it's just too much. I would just say too much. Yeah, that's it. And Kimmy on towards the mid lane, definitely very, very viable still now, even after that little ultimate nerf. She is still quite
Yeah.
formidable on towards the mid lane. And here on towards Rayuga, we do need to see a very high range mid laner, but instead they decide to lock in on the Irithel early itself, fearing a ban in the second phase. And that is definitely quite a good pick, I would say.
Yes, I agree with you, Sarah, because obviously they need some mobility considering that Baksha is someone who would chase you down. Lapu, who's very hell-bent on obviously going with that flicker combination of the bravest fighter and just bonk you in the head. So having a marksman that's not that stationary, it's so good. And of course, there's also Kimmy. She can chase down the Kimmy when she has the damage if there's gonna be a 1 versus 1. So overall, it's a good option. And moving around also makes it hard for the Kimmy to obviously target you with her obviously aiming skill. So I feel like Irithel overall is doing a good job at kind of being in a good place against these three priority picks that are coming in from Anarchy. Both of the teams looks like okay, the Kimi is gonna go mid lane, EXP Lapu and Rome Bakshia. On the other hand, jungler, marksman, and EXP. So both of these teams have different priority to ban out. The side of Rayuga, they can go for jungler bans right now, but instead, they go for the Mathilda ban. I think they are doubting that the Baksha could be being pushed into a jungle, but. But Sarah, I think I haven't seen any Baksha jungle lately. Have you seen any?
Nope, the only person who had pulled that off earlier was Raren back when he was in LCF, but now times have changed.
Yeah,
Baxia Jungle,
exactly.
yeah, it is very risky, but then again, Anarchy being Anarchy, they could definitely push into it. You know, they do those things. But then again, but if they do that, then what is going to be their roam option? The Florian is open. Are they going for a Florian Baxia combo? Like the classic Florian Baxia combo? But then again, we don't really know. What is Rayuga even planning here? Because their next ban, it should be targeted towards a marksman, possibly the Moskov. But no, okay, jinxed it. Jinxed it.
Yes,
There
you
comes
did.
the Florian ban.
You're good at predicting things. You're much better than me. For sure. Of course, you're the Sarah, not Sarah, the Sarah. One of my favorites, of
Wow.
course. Favorites for a lot of reasons.
Thank you.
But yeah, we're gonna be seeing the last band coming in from Anarchy, and looks like both of them are very okay. A Lilia band, I was not honestly expecting that. I feel like okay, I think they have picked up the Lilia once, maybe once, but that was honestly unwarranted. Are they honestly thinking of going for a Fred in jungle? Because I don't see it. Other than that, like Lilia, okay, I feel like Lilia falls into a hot spot where you can't really exactly describe why would you ban her. Is it because she has two lives? Is it because of her blooms that dish out a lot of burst that could be dangerous to the Bakshia and of course Lapu Lapu who are not good at sustaining burst damage? It could be either of those, but hey, I would still agree that it's a little bit of an odd ban. Let's see what Rayuga pulls up with. Okay, they come with the Vexana.
Interesting pick right there because as compared to the Kimi, the Vexana will fall short a little bit of that range.
Absolutely.
But if Ezekiel just manages to camp in a bush and take down the Kimi and force her to use up the Purify or the Sprint or whichever battle spell that she will be using, it is going to be a good pick, especially during the team fights. It can help to prevent a lot of force engages that will be coming on from the side of Anarchy, especially because of the Baxia pick right here. And for the last two picks, I can definitely tell that they are going to go in for a goal lane, possibly the Moskov or the Bruno. The Moskov would be really good here, especially with the Trinity build, would help to melt down the Uranus as well. But then again, on towards the jungle. Are they going to pick up on the Baxia in the jungle and go in for a different roamer? And yes, that is exactly what they do. They go in for Art's signature chip, and on towards the gold, it is going to be a Claude.
We were just discussing What's the chances of a Bakshia jungle? And Anarchy said, watch us. They just don't care, do they? They do not care what the meta defines. They like to go for something unpredictable. But overall, with the initial nerfs on the chip, let's see what kind of game we have in store for us, because it's going to be interesting. Overall, the Minotaur will come in. It's a very classic rank combo, right? The Minotaur Vexana, double knock up, going to be dishing out a lot of damage as well. Triple if you combine it with his first slam. So I feel like that's definitely warrants a purifier so into the hands of the Claude at most. But other than that, yeah, the Kimi has to go for a different kind of a spell. And the rest of the members, I think they will go for Flicker and etc. But let's see, both of the drafts have been finalized. Rayuga here, I feel like they're looking balanced. It's just that mid lane, I feel like I'll have a little bit doubt. But hey, we're into the land of dawn, ladies and gentlemen, for Mobile Legends Mythic Showdown Season 1. Obviously by IGC, Indian Gaming Corps. And we are diving into the game number 1 of the last match of the Swiss stage. Myself, Ray, and I'm joined by this beautiful lady over here, Sarah, who you already know, one of the best casters in India.
You flatter me, Ray. You yourself are one. But then again, as I was predicting, the gentleman is the one in towards the jungle. That man, he plays the link so well, and he's one of the best link leaders in India. So give him that link, and he's gonna show you what a real assassin is. But then again, everything aside, on towards the mid side, Rocco already being forced to flicker out and recall under 1 minute, and that's the power of the Kimi pick along with the chip. So this match, it's already looking quite strong at the moment, and as long as Crisis has a winning lane against the Irithel, Team Anarchy, they have got their pace set very properly.
Yes, Sarah, and I feel like, but you know, they are aware of the fact and they're already pressuring the top lane, but even the mid lane is not getting the minions that they really require. Okay, Crisis, that is pretty risky, I would say. Very low HP, but yep, BMI to get out of there. Very good wave management and lane pressure that's been given by the hands of Anarchy. But looks like it's getting switched up a little bit, because mid lane, the Kimi is having forced to retreat, but that is a good thing. They're going for a defensive kind of a lane pause, and good. Overall, we will see some slight bit of goal advantage, but nothing to be concerned about just yet. But hey, they know the Minotaur doesn't have the flicker, possibly, but they will stop as the turtle will come in.
Okay, we can see the fights going in. Look at the Joy trying to go in for the electrifying beats, but only will find one, and has already used up that ultimate. The gentleman, he's also quite low HP. He's only at half HP at the moment. Visal doesn't have the ultimate yet, neither does Rocco or Ixana. So definitely, but look at the Lapu Lapu with the bravest fighter. Already finds Chocolate-chan onto the backside. There goes once more another engage, and Art finds the kill onto Rocco. Anarchy with that early lead, doing quite so well with that early focus comp. And that's just a beautiful trade coming in right under the 3-minute mark, securing a nearly 1.5k goal lead. Hooray.
Yes, Sarah, and that is so like aggressively done well, right? And I feel like if they're able to keep up this lead, I feel like Rayuga is gonna be in a heap lot of trouble. And I feel like, as we can clearly see, that one turtle, 2 kills, that early game under 3 minutes, that is a massive lead already been given out, and it will only snowball further. And that's something that they have to keep in mind. Rayuga over here, what is going to be their response? The only response I can think of is honestly their Irithel and the Wombo combo that could be coming in from the Minotaur. Other than that, what else can they go for? The Joy needs some farm and to have to get those items, and then she would be able to go back to the backline. But even if they go backline, the Kimi is not really easy to reach. But oh, looking at her top of lane over here, Sarah.
Look at that, a teleport comes in right on time. Rustin gonna be taken down very low. Bravest Spider goes in with a flicker, finds Rustin right in the middle of all of it. Art trying to take down the turret damage, but Baxia will go in, finds one, and now Anarchy doesn't give him up. Yet Art will be taken down because of the turret damage. Chocolate-chan finds a much needed kill, and here Bid trying to poke down the Visal as much as possible, but still now Kimi doesn't have the damage, so obviously both the teams will now try to back off.
Sarah, the fact that Kimi does have damage, but against Uranus, who's just gonna be like every hit she's doing, he's healing back. So because
Oh
of it,
yeah.
yeah, she's like her damage is feeling null against Uranus, and he's in him being the frontliner is much better. But you can clearly see on Rocco, it's a different story because being a support and not having any defensive items, you can clearly see the difference that Bid is making.
Oh, wow. And he just messed up the dash right there too, and he did way too much damage than he would have liked and had to recall. Which means again, the turtle, it's quite free for Team Anarchy to just take away so easily. Look at Lapu though, he's zoning away Joy in his own jungle, which is a very smart move. And look
Oh.
at Anarchy now trying to look for a possible engage on towards the red buff, but no, Arc is going to back off, realizing his team needs to farm up still now. Ironically enough, Ray, both the teams do not have one of their main players today.
Oh, Sarah, you're actually right. I just noticed. You're so observant, honestly. But yeah, that's one of the plus things about you. You have many plus things about you. But I just found one thing funny is that Baksha is a tortoise. Oh! But into the top lane, what's happening?
Oh, there comes the teleport at the perfect time. Tried to find Uranus in the middle of all of it, but obviously couldn't fall on the Uranus. That's just you just leave that story out of your casting moments. But look at that, look at Beelzy. He's still trying to find a kill, but gets caught in the Xana's terrifying the minion, and Fury comes in at the perfect time. But look at Beelzy though, he still survives and finds a kill, while Bid takes down Visal finally, and Crisis manages to find Rusted in the middle of all of it. Team Anarchy just finding those kills left and right, and Chocolate Chan doing what he does best, goes in for the split pushes right away.
Yeah, trying to get the macro control, but having the chip, I think, sorry, having the chip is one positive thing. It's that I understand why they wanted to go for a Baksha jungle, because clearly, I was mentioning 4-1 rotation. They need someone that can keep it up, and Chip is really good at it. He can basically call up the whole team if Rayuga, especially Chocolate Chan, was being a menace. So Chip was honestly the best possible option. Not to mention, it's a comfort pick for Art. But yeah, I was mentioning earlier, right? It's a tortoise taking the turtle. I just found that funny. But yeah, so far the score sits at 7-4-2, 1,000 goal lead. Oh no, not 1,000. It's almost 3,000 goal lead into the hands of Anarchy. Lapu still going ham.
Wow, there goes Beelzy with the bravest fighter. Kimi with the ultimate finds two in the middle of it. But there comes the damage. Visal trying to zone Bid away, finds a lot of damage into there, but will fall prey. Chocolate Chan with electrifying beats, takes down Bid almost, but doesn't. Gets immobilized right in the path of it, but look at Gentleman and the backside just goes in for the damage as much as possible. And it's like Rustin and Real are just tickling that little tortoise man, the gentleman on that box. Yeah, they are just zoning away the damage dealers so far away.
I just found it hilarious that Baksha was in the middle of 2 turrets and 4 people, yet he was still okay. Like, he just came to the turtle, like, hungry, I need some turtle soup. How does that guy, like, he's so ahead right now, level 10. I want to take a look at the itemization because I want to see how far ahead they are. Okay, level 8, 2 level difference, but already into the top lane. Blazing Duet, Asara.
And there we go, Art with the kill once again on towards Real. Team Anarchy going in with the Kimi ultimate. Gentleman finds Rusted in the middle of it, and they are still going in. Art with the flicker stun. Bid gets the killing spree. 3 members down. Only Rusted finds 1 kill onto Art. That too because of the turret damage. And here Anarchy, they are just completely dominating the entirety of the map. Chocolate Chan trying to find bits and scraps of farm wherever it is possible, but Beelzy notices it right away and gets back down to just farming away and stopping Chocolate Chan from doing whatever he was going there for. But look at that, these two, they're still fighting it out. Chocolate Chan tried to clear out the lane, didn't really manage to do it, and now Beelzy is gonna try and push the lane. Oh, they aren't stopping. There comes the bravest fighter once again. There comes the turret damage once again. Oh my goodness. Ban out the Lapu Lapu. Oh my god. Just speechless at the moment.
Farm lead and being a little bit of a broken hero can basically help you sustain 80% of the damage that you got from a turret. That is pretty insane. But yeah, the minion wave definitely helped. But Kimi over here, Sarah.
That's big on Kimi for you. And look at Beelzy once again with the bravest fighter. finds the double kill, just picks up the kills which Bid had worked so hard for but didn't really manage to secure. But then again, Bid is a team player. He doesn't mind. It's okay. Bilzy, he is just shining so well now that the EXP meta is finally here. Don't you think so?
Absolutely, and I feel like it is very needed. EXP laners needed a little bit of love, but another possible engage, Sarah?
Yup,
Or they go
and
back.
as we can see, that didn't really spice up the way we wanted it to.
Yeah.
It's okay. Anarchy, they'll go in for the Lord pretty easily. And Ray, what are your thoughts? What can Rayuga really do to try and make a possible comeback in this?
The obviously choice would be to make sure, like, they are sending Chocolate Chan over there just to make sure he can get a few macro lanes, right? He got a bottom one, which was good. They are trying to get to the top one as well right now. That is their strategy has been. But obviously what they need to do is stall the game as much as possible. Irithel is their only possible hope because the rest of the members are mostly defensive. Vexana, she has good wave clear, so they can utilize that as much as possible. And of course, just like I said, Chocolate Chan being the diversion. Two of the frontliners, they do the frontlining job, try to sustain and stall as much as possible. Vexana with the wave clear and using the guard, obviously. What was that little lore thing? Why am I forgetting? Because it's been a while I've seen the Vexana. Yeah, Eternal Guard. Use it as another fodder. But oh, Bilzy going all alone already. That amount of confidence.
Bilzy is just being Bilzy at this point. But look at him though. Previous fighter going, come out. He's chilling, man. He's chilling out there. And Anarchy as well, using him as a perfect distraction to take down the inhibitor already with the first slot itself. And obviously here, Team Rayuga, they need to find some pace back into this because look at Bilzy. Where are the anti-heals, chat? We need the anti-heals in the chat here with us. Because this Lapu Lapu is out of control at this point, and so is Crisis. He's just pushing away to Glory. And look at the damage coming in from the Blazing Duet. Almost takes down Chocolate Chan with it. Art tries to go in for a possible engage, finds the teleport. Look at Gentleman onto the back line. Rusted getting melted out from the Blade Armor. Passive there away. There we go. And Assault trying to tank it all away. 1v5 right in the middle of it, trying to clear everything. But onto the back line. Monster kill and double kill secured by Bilzebub right there. And Gentleman goes in with the unstoppable. Chocolate Chan trying to look for the defense, but no, Anarchy will find the turret. Game 1-0. Anarchy in the lead.
That was, I just want to say, it was absolutely disgusting how they're just in the base, in their face, and just destroying them. How can you do that? That should feel illegal, isn't it, Sarah? Because, like, I'm just saying they have to stall the game. They're trying to do so, but when their opponents are in their base, what do? They just can't simply stay on the fountain. That is the only possible area they can go back to. Like, Anarchy was in a different frequency this time around, and the amount of lead, and of course, Bilzy over here. No anti-heals except only Rayul. And I feel like, obviously, for Rayul to dish out the anti-heal, he needs to hit Lapu Lapu, not the other way around with the dominant size, right? So, and the fact that they had only one heal and that anti-heal had to hit Bilzy, who was avoiding everything and just going ham on everyone, it is just really, really upsetting and sad. And I feel like obviously the slight roster bit of change affecting, of course, not having their main player might be affecting the side of Rayuga. It is possible, but it's also the fact that they were honestly very overwhelmed by the dominance that came in from Anarchy, Sarah.
Yep, definitely there. Like both the teams, Anarchy, they don't have their literal main jungler. And Gentleman, he is a good jungler, no doubt, but he is still a sub. While on the hand of Rayuga, they do not have their mid laner. This kind of just shows just how dependent the entire composition of Team Rayuga is on towards Ezekiel. So obviously, the little bit of the composition change, the draft change, it is affecting them a bit negatively. And obviously, Anarchy, they have practiced hard as much as they could. So has Rayuga. But then again, end of the day, it's the meta. You give Bilzy that Lapu, obviously he's going to show you what he is capable of. And that's where Anarchy just came out on top in the first game itself.
Absolutely, Sarah. Love the way, even though you're basically the one getting the team fight hype, obviously, giving your voice over there, really beautiful. But I love the way you analyze those things because it was not in my mind. You're actually right. And let's see. Obviously, we're gonna jump back straight into the action, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be game number 2 of this best of 3 series, Anarchy versus Rayuga. Last match of the Swiss stage is round 5, and after this, obviously, they will join. The winner will join the last already qualifying 7 teams in the playoff stages, and it's going to be spicy. But overall, we have to focus on the present, and let's see if Anarchy can get a clean sweep, or Rayuga will persist, will force a game number 3, and will stand strong, keeping the odds at even. But let's see what's going to happen. This is the obviously the draft stage, and of course, Sarah, we do see immediate ban of the chip. They don't want the hassle anymore.
Absolutely, and in Rayuga, right away, look at that, right away, the first ban is going to be the chip. I think they have just been traumatized with the way art plays out on that chip and just pops out anywhere. Even after the nerf which she perceived, you can literally see where chip teleports. So that's something to be commended, definitely. Anarchy, though, sticking with their original game plan, bans out the Granger, probably going in with the Garot Kacha ban next, or maybe even the Lapu Lapu, not willing to give Visal a comfort hero, but which I think definitely Lapu Lapu is. But instead, they're going for the Badang ban, so obviously, there's still a chance that those EXP picks just get banned out.
Yeah, that was what was bothering me in the last game. Like Lapu Lapu is just so strong in the meta right now. Definitely top 1 EXP in the sense that Uranus can be top 1 in the sense of sustainability, being the sandbag, taking the damage to the face. Yeah, he's top 1 in that. But Lapu Lapu, he covers so many bases. I mean, Lapu Lapu was basically the top hero, not even the EXP lane, for a long while before he got nerfed to the ground. And we started seeing, obviously, the other role heroes popping off. But with the other role heroes getting nerfed down, and the XP lane getting the adjustments, we are seeing the XP lane popping off, and the Lapu Lapu gaining back his throne as one of the being the best heroes in the game. And the CC, the immunity, the shield, the sustain, the damage, even he can, because he can take down so many people at once. If once he got ahead of the team, it's just really impressive. Overall, we're going to be seeing the Mathilda band paying respect. They want to go for something else. Looks like, I feel like they're gonna go for something in the first pick, and I feel like, what's it gonna be, Sarah? What do you think?
Last time around, we did show the Suyo getting banned out by Team Anarchy. They could ban out on a possible jungle, maybe the Baxia. Okay, that it is the Baxia. I'll just stay shut, zipped up my lips, and just gone. Okay,
No, don't
Ray,
zip up. Keep
you get
talking.
it. You get it, Ray. I was about to spell out the Baxia. I pronounced the B and they banned out the Baxia. Okay, it's fine. Rayuga here, they do have quite a lot of options open this time. They have the Lapu Lapu for themselves. They still have the Kalia, Uranus, Phobius, Garukaja, all the meta EXPs. Name them, and they'll be picked up by Rayuga right away.
Lapu Lapu still open, just like you said, right? And I feel like, no, they go in for the Kimmy. Looks like Bit gave them a little bit of trauma too, because they're like, hell nah, Bit, we ain't giving you this Kimmy anymore. We don't want the poking, and feel like it is also to make sure they can have some bit of mid control, because they obviously lost out so badly, right? In the previous game, we clearly noticed the Vexana and Minotaur were forced to recall twice in the early game, use their flickers once in the early game, which is so disadvantageous, using up their resources so early, because they got taken down later on by the Baxia pretty easily, because they do not have any escape. And because of it, looks like it is understandable. But hey, banning out the Suyo last time, this time they are the ones who pick it up, and looks like Bilzy has different ideas. He's like, hey, I had enough with Lapu, let me take up the Uranus, right?
Exactly so. And I think Rayuga's game plan here is to, just ban out the Farsa, pick up the Kimi, because the only possible counter to a Kimi is definitely just that Farsa. She is the only one who can outrange and outdamage her. So obviously that's a good plan right there. You give away the Uranus and the Suyo and pick up the Kimi to just counter and deal the damage which is needed from your team side. While now they can also pick up on the Kalia as well, and as we can see, the Joy. So Chocolate Chan here, I think, is definitely aiming for the Joy pick, especially after the patch changes. And obviously, Joy is a good pick against the Suyo. So Anarchy here, they need to think this through. Do they want their gold lane now itself, or are they going to risk it out and let the gold pick be on towards the second phase?
Harith is open, right? It is possible Rustin can pick it up if he wants, you know? Yep. For a second, I switched up the sides. I forgot that Crisis, on the other hand. Yeah, Crisis gonna be picking up the Harith. I called the Harith pick. I just switched up the sides. Technically, that counts, right, Sarah?
Yep, it does count. The Harriet does count here, definitely. But against the Joy and the Kimido, I am curious how Crisis plays this one out. So obviously, we are still waiting to see what their second bans are going to be. Definitely going to be seeing the marksman.
Lapu.
Wait a second. Are they going to ban out on the marksman or the mid lane? Because Rustin, he is more well known to be playing Kimi on towards the gold lane, while Ryul, he likes to play the Sicilian or the Yve on towards the mid lane a lot more. So definitely interesting here, but Anarchy doesn't really catch on to that. They are still banning out on the gold laners.
Well, maybe they are following their own policy. You know, hey, we played Kimi mid lane. Maybe they're gonna play the Kimi mid lane. But I was honestly expecting the Lapu ban to be following through immediately. But hey, it's all okay. Let's see, because I feel like honestly, also, I always love the Kalia into the XP more, and I feel like the roaming suits other heroes better. But considering the fact that roamers had been slightly nudged out a little bit, and also getting bent out because they don't have the Baxia, they don't have the Matilda, I feel like the Kalia could be a decent pick. But let's see what the dedicated lane is going to be. Overall, they do ban out the Kufra. Okay, they could have picked up the Kufra for themselves, but maybe they are just like, we don't want any of that bouncing ball business, nor do you want it from us, nor do you want it from you. So we're just going to ban it out. So that leaves us with only, let's see, Anarchy. What do you think Picked Off is going to be picking up? Like, I don't think a healer would be good. Are they going to go for a solid tank like a Tigreal?
It's quite possible they could go in with a Tigreal, they could go in with a Jawhead like we've seen Art play on that.
Oh yeah, you are right.
Exactly, they could even go in with a Minotaur just to cancel everything out. But against the Kimi, though, I think that's just a very last kind of option. And one good thing they can do is flex the Franco. So definitely, we'll have to see what Rayuga decides to ban out here on towards the second phase. Because at the moment, Anarchy needs their mid lane and the roam to be picked up.
Absolutely. And I feel like it can be a possible another roam ban. Maybe because obviously, just like we are discussing, they don't want Picked Off to picking them off, especially considering the fact that the first three picks are three girls who are very vulnerable to getting picked off, and obviously CC. So it is very likely they would want to capitalize on that and ban out something annoying. Okay, yeah, there we go. They ban out the Gatot, someone that has a little bit of a global presence, considering he can use the AOG to jump from one part to a very large place on another. So, and also Gatot is actually a big threat for Kimi, because once you use the first skill, yeah, you're kind of in a bad spot against the Gatot's AOG. So makes sense. But let's see, Anarchy, right now, they have their EXP gold laner and their jungler. They have to pick up the mid laner and their gold. And I feel like the gold still has a lot of viable options. They can go for their Earthel, still could be a good option. They can go for Granger has been banned. Now they can go for the Claude again with the Blazing Duet. They can even go for the Bruno or even the Brody, in my opinion, because I feel like Brody looks underrated, but I feel like he's still a really good option. But hey, only time can tell what's on their mind. Just like we discussed, Anarchy can be pretty goddamn unpredictable. And just like we discussed, what is this?
Yep. Unpredictable, indeed unpredictable. It is going to be bid on the Faramis. That's just okay. It's a very flex pick coming in from Bid right here. But then again, it's a very decent pick because Kalia jumps in along with Joy's electrifying beats, and there we go. Just Faramis popping off that Nether Realms and saves his entire team. That's just how good the comp is at the moment. And with that, all you need is a setup tank, and things will be looking very good for Anarchy, I would say. But then again, Rayuga obviously wouldn't give that much of leverage to the side of Anarchy, and I do think that they will be picking up on the Bruno, who goes in, well predicted there, Ray, and the Hilda on towards the Roam, or maybe the EXP. Quite questionable there, don't you think?
Yeah, you're actually right, Sarah, because like what can you put the Hilda into? If you put it into the roaming position, she can just be a little bit of an annoyance, provide the vision. Kalia into the roaming position can provide the vision, have the rotation, and also have the CC abundance. But of course, whoever you're going to be pushing into a roaming position will have slightly less bit of gold, which obviously was a crucial factor in the last game because there was no anti-heal in the roamer's hand until the last moment. I feel like that should have been prioritized. But hey, I think either of these is a good option, but honestly, I would prefer the Hilda on their roam for one simple reason. She rotates fast. The vision is very necessary against the Suyo. But looks like it, Anarchy will respond with the Minotaur. Getting, just like you mentioned, they have a good setup tank. They've got the Faramis. And right now, oh, this is actually an old wombo combo, right? The Faramis Minotaur. I used to see this in ranked games in like season 29 or something a lot.
Yep. Just back when Minotaur had received the healing buff and the support Minotaur just came into existence at that point of time. But then again, there's only one thing that bugs me, because when the Faramis ultimate ends, the Minotaur is going to get silenced. And if that happens in the middle of the Minoan Fury, things are going to get very risky for the side of Anarchy. What's your take on that?
You have a very interesting take because I wasn't even thinking that far, Sarah. But obviously, before I answer you that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game number 2. This is gonna be between Anarchy and Rayuga, just like you can see on your screen. And this is the do or die for Rayuga. If no game 3, they're out of the competition. They're eliminated from round 5 of the Swiss, the last match, the last round, and it'd be a very painful way to go. But hey, there's only one victor. So let's see, clean sweep or third game. Into the casting desk, myself, Ray, and I'm joined by beautiful Sarah over here. And to answer your question, I honestly, that silence thing, that is something really clever that you've thought of. But honestly, considering the fact that they do lack a little bit of AoE, okay, Kimi does reconcile with the fact. So you're actually right. They need to make sure they don't pop up their ultimate too early and Minotaur doesn't get silenced because that would be pretty bad. But already...
Hey, look at that. On towards the early game itself, Bilzy having to pop his spell and just run away out of there, and even Art had to play it very safe. That was definitely a good poke coming in by the side of Anarchy, but Team Rayuga, they just have the better of the two compositions for the early game, at least for now, because look at that, the Kimi's doing exactly the thing that Bud was doing in the previous game, and even towards the goal, Rustin is going to have the easier time on towards the poking game. That's where Harith is going to lack, at least until it picks up on the feather. So Team Anarchy really needs to play it very, very slow at the moment if they want to win out on towards the late game.
Absolutely. Rayul as well as Rustin and even their EXP laner Vishal are definitely like feel my pain because they're suffering right now. Top lane.
Wow, look at the engages coming in by the side of Rayuga. This time Ryul being the one to secure that easy first blood. That too onto Gentleman, who's the main jungler for Anarchy at the moment. Which means that this is a deja vu of the first match, just that the sides are reversed and Rayuga will have the much easier time as a turtle. Bit tried to steal it away with a sneaky little first kill, but obviously it's Chocolate Chance Retribution. Only a few people win Retribution against him.
Absolutely, and also Sarah, is Kimi the main catalyst, the one that's really affecting? Because looks like I just jinxed it, or did I? Because Rayul was honestly gonna get taken down, but bottom lane all's well. Looks like the side of Rayuga, they're up for revenge and they're hungry for those kills because that is a close one. But Art over here into the bottom lane, Sarah.
Oh, look at Art. He's trying to look for the engage bit, trying to get some poke damage, trying to pull Rustin and Rocco both together, but will not get any of them. But Crisis though, very commendable job. Look at Visal's positioning. He is there. He can catch up Art. He can catch him very easily, and he does go for it. He's trying to go in for the skill damage. Goes into the tornado, goes in a little bit too inside. Art will be caught out very low, gets the immunity with the Minoan Fury, very smart ultimate right there, but the Nether Realms comes in right on time. There's good Crisis with the damage. Mid finds the kill. What a return of events as Rocco gets taken down along with Assault right away. Just the perfect backup coming in from the side of Anarchy. They're still not done. They're trying to go in more and more. Ryul, he is very low and will get taken down by Bilzy Bob right away. The perfect engage coming in by Rayuga there, just turned around completely by the side of Anarchy.
And we have a fun fact. Okay, we have Beatrix fun fact. Even though she's not here, she's a one-woman arsenal and she can swap between 4 items. Yep, Beatrix, the root of all evil, right, Sarah? But yeah, jokes aside, I was not expecting. I was honestly thinking that the Minotaur will get taken down over there and the team fight will go on. But the fact that he survived with that flicker back kind of an engage, but oh, so much aggression into top lane. But yeah, the flicker back minion fury, that was so clever. And Harith coming at the nick of time, so good. But already into the mid lane, we see so much poke happening. They are not going to be letting you rest because both of these teams are very hungry. Anarchy is hungry for the win and Rayuga is hungry for the revenge. But into the turtle pit we go. Both of the junglers are ready. So let's see what's going to happen, Sarah.
Exactly so, and then, as we can see, all 5 members of both the teams are going to be moving on towards the turtle. And here, Rocco, he does find Bit in the middle of it, but gets the Purify right on time. And now Bilzy is going to be the one just frontlining, just tanking it and soaking it all away. There comes the Minimum Fury, not really on point, man will miss everyone, but still Anarchy is there to deal damage. Vishal soaking it all in. There comes another realm right on time. Art gets protected right away. Vishal has to run away for his life. Chocolate-chan going in with Electrifying Beats, finds Art in the middle of it. Rustin trying to go in with his wood balls, will find one there. Chocolate-chan with the double kill on the Gentleman once again. This is going to be a free turtle for the side of Rayuga, but no, it isn't over. It isn't over. There comes the Chrono Dash from Crisis along with his Zaman Force. He is going in for more. He is hungry along with Bid and Bilzy. They are still there to tank it all in. Chocolate-chan tries to go in, tries to find one, but Crisis gets the shield, but no, not enough as Chocolate-chan finds a killing spree. The glowing one passive is onto him, but he survives with slither of an HP. Both these teams just brawling their lives away at the turtle.
They are up. They are up in each other's throats, like neck to neck. They are not stopping. That engage was going so back and forth. You couldn't really say who was coming out on top because, like, 1 second there's obviously Art and obviously the Gentleman getting taken over. Then obviously the why am I saying that so many times? But Crisis came in. But then Crisis was getting taken down by Joy. So much back and forth, but ultimately it looks like the turtle actually goes into the hands of Gentleman over here. They get the soup and looks like a possible engage. Or not.
Again, Rocco trying for the Tsunami Slam, but a Bid will manage to escape with the perfect Purify timing onto the top side though. Crisis, I think he has the items he needs and he is hitting those shots onto Bruno. Definitely looking very smooth for the... okay, that's an early Nether Realm getting baited out of it. Not the smartest move, but then again, Team Anarchy, they would have to play it very safe until that Nether Realm is back online. And at the moment, Gentleman is doing what Chocolate-chan was doing a few moments ago, stealing away the red buff and all the farm from the opponent jungle.
You know, this is one of the things that bothers me. Like, when you're a jungler, like, you're trying to steal, don't make a trade, come back and do your jungle as well, right? Because I feel like that gives you the net positive. But overall, bottom lane, gotta go into the hands of Anarchy. Joy also coming here. Chocolate-chan, can he get it?
Gentleman way too low. He will not survive that aftermath of just angering Rayuga. You know, he's not going to survive when Rayuga is angry, and that is exactly what's happening here. So obviously Rayuga, they are looking for those pickoffs on towards the side lanes because Crisis, he is kind of untouchable at the moment. Art is always with him, and he himself has the Zaman Force as well as the Purify to try and run away from his enemies. Rocco, he has to jump in at a very, very strategic time. Right now, Bit doesn't have the Purify and he gets it back in 2 seconds and it's back for him. But then again, what is Team Rayuga going to do here? Because Bilzy, they do not really have anyone to kill Bilzy. And there comes the Nether Realm, there comes the Silence, there comes another knock up onto the turret. But Bilzy tanking so much and just gets taken down because that's a passive. And once his items are up, I'm really curious to see how he gets taken down by the side of Rayuga.
The fact that Ryul almost got taken down instead because of the fact that the blade armor was dishing out so much damage reverting back to him was pretty nuts. But overall, the pterodactyl is gonna be coming in, not the Lord because it's a bird now, right? It's a bird dino. pterodactyls are pretty cool. But 7-7, the score pretty much shows that these teams are equal in bases. Last game, Anarchy had substantial lead, but this one, Rayuga is not holding back any punches. It's pretty evident, and I feel like. Oh, mid lane, a possible engage coming in because I did see the Kalia use up the dashes. Tsunami Slen soon. Let's see. Bilzy also getting into position, Sarah.
Oh, the Flicker Minnow on Fury comes in right on time. That's a double knock-up onto Rustin, but Art, he is very low. But a gentleman will find the kill onto Basal, but Rustin finds the kill onto Art, while Bilzy takes down Rustin right there, and there comes the Blade Armor passive. 4 members down for the side of Rayuga as Anarchy finds their superiority in this game. The Power Spikes is on, the Blade Armors are on, and Team Anarchy just leads the score 11-8, and now a Lord in their favor.
Holy Crystal bought for Chocolate Chan, so a little bit more damage, but can we see the full itemization? Because I really want to see who has what. I've seen Blade Armors, I've seen... Okay. So you're with the full damage, of course. Kimmy over here with the anti-heal and Skypiercer. Not enough damage. That's just a little bit of utility. The Skypiercer doing most of the work. So she definitely needs that penetration. And of course, the Holy Crystal, not Holy Crystal actually, maybe the concentrated energy to have a little bit more sustain because she's getting melted by her own damage. Joy, only 2 items so far, so you're building towards the third. Harris also building towards the third, so those are the things they need to consider. So far, the Bruno, despite 2 items being his core, after all, these are the core items he needs, so he's dishing out a lot of damage. Top lane, though. Bilzy gets taken down solo by 4 people, but that is 4 resources wasted on a single man. If this is well communicated.
5 people.
Oh yeah, I think they can take care of this. Let's see. Do they go the aggressive approach, bottom lane?
Yep, they do clear out a lot pretty easily, and even the turret shields are all well and healthy at the moment. Obviously, and there comes a good knock-up, but gets stunned! Oh my goodness! And there goes the Team Anarchy with the damage, but Visal will find Crisis in the middle of it. Crisis is gonna be taken down very low and has to escape, and Rustin with the damage! And takes him down, but Rustin gets the revenge as well. Both dead bodies on each other, but then again, Visal here chasing down Art down the mid lane. Platan is also going to be joining in very soon, but doesn't, just clears out the wave and plays it safe. Those were some very, very equal blows of just dealt by both of these teams. Team Anarchy, they need to just play a little bit safer because no matter how tanky Bilzy is, the rest of them aren't. So yeah, just stick together a little more, please.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you also noticed the dead bodies fell together on top of each other. It was so comical to me for some reason. But yeah, interesting enough. Oh, Crisis already. He's spamming his Zaman forces at this point. But yeah, score sits at 11-13. Goal lead just a slight bit into the favor of Anarchy. And just like you were right, Anarchy has to take into consideration because the bottom lane that Kimmy Ultimate could have been full wiped out. I mean, it was technically, most of the members did fall in. After all, only the Minotaur survived from there. So they gotta make sure they don't stick together too much to the point they get inside the Kimmy's turret. Sorry, the ultimate. But at the same time, they're close enough that Bid can provide them the sustenance, and of course, UNS can provide the front lining. They gotta make sure they're in good positions to really do those things. But overall, the Kimmy will have a little bit more damage. But Kalia over here.
Look at that. The Tsunami Slam once again onto Art. Art trying to deal some damage. Gets the blast of voices passive onto him. Will it be enough to survive? No. Gentleman comes in just a second too late. Gentleman does find View though in the middle of it and trying to deal some damage here. Bid's gonna be taken out very low. He's trying to escape as much as possible. But Chocolate Chan finds Gentleman in the middle of it. There goes the man force crisis. Will find, gets the shutdown on Chocolate Chan. And Bilzy onto with the backline though. He is gonna be dealing way too much damage because of that blade armor. But it's gonna be enough. Rocco here, along with Visal, tries to lock down Bilzy. He does have the heals onto him, but anti-heal, it seems to be working now. It seems to be finally working. But this.
Okay.
He go in. He tries to go in. There goes the man force once again. He finds Rocco. And now Visal is going to be in danger as well. Does have the Radiant though. Is he going to survive this? Is he going to survive this? Oh, he gets pulled back. But there comes the Kimmy ultimate. Bit gets taken down. Bit. A little bit too aggressive there. He gets taken down. Art is back online along with Crisis. But those are 1-for-1 trades coming in by both of these teams. And now the Lord is going to be up. These teams, they just can't seem to stop fighting, can they, Ray?
Yes, Sarah. Like, this game is going so neck to neck that it's really hard to pinpoint what's really happening and who's really favoring who. But of course, we have to take the look at the analytics, and which is the goal lead slightly into the favor of Anarchy. The kill, one advantage. Okay, item wise, we can clearly see the disparities a little bit. Okay, the goal leader, the old divine coming into the hands of Crisis. That's gonna be hurting all the magic defenses, because look at the Lord Pit. We're gonna be seeing a possible engage coming in. Vishal already going in. Sarah.
It's Art who secures the Lord with the Minnow and Fury. Gentleman finds a double. Crisis with the killing spree, and now Anarchy is marching in. Gentlemen,
Oh my
with
God.
the triple kill as Bilzy steals away that maniac. 5 members down from the side of Rayuga as Team Anarchy. They are marching down to base. This is the true 0 they needed. This is the 2-0 they secured. They secured their spot right into the playoffs.
The last team fight just took 1 second. One magnitude of a second. A slight bit of mishap, perhaps. Because I would love to see an instant replay of what just happened in the last moment. Slight bit of something happened, and obviously Zaman Force dishing out most of the damage, and they were just not able to cover. I feel like it fell into like puzzle pieces. It's just the fact that Bid ultimate definitely, I feel like, helped them sustain most of the damage. Then they just took down everybody one by one, and the full wipeout, it was just no chance. I feel like the Lord did not even matter at the end, or did it? Maybe if the Lord was there, but full 5-man wipeout. Even if the Lord was into the hands of Rayuga, I don't think that was a possible defense. They would have been easily taken out. So I feel like the Lord contest doesn't matter. What really matters is the team fight wise. At the end, the itemization was a little bit too. I mean, the goal lead was a little bit too ahead, because you can clearly see the difference. Kimi over here is with 2 items, because the Skybase is a little cheap, but let's be generous, 3 items. Look at Bid. 1, 2, 3. Okay, he's building towards the 4. To be fair, one serves a different purpose. One is pure damage, so more item reliant. One, pure utility, not exactly item reliant. So that is that. On the other hand, Gentlemen with basically full build. Joy over here is 2 items off. So yeah, we did see some difference. 3 items into the hands, 2 items off. But Harith, basically full build, only 1 item left. Rustin was actually catching up, which is pretty sad, isn't it, Sarah? Because he was 10,000 goal, which is extremely close to Crisis. He did put in a lot of effort, but of course, at the end, there can only be one victor. And congratulations to Team Anarchy for moving ahead. And Sarah, what do you have to say?
Yep, I agree with you there that Rustin, he was really trying so hard to just get those plays done, to just secure the goal lead, get the turrets in their favor. And at one point, it did feel like Rayuga was actually coming back, but on that last team fight, that perfect timing of the Minoan Fury and then the Nether Realms, so that the silence, it did not affect and gave them an extra life altogether. And then the Flask of Oasis passive on all of them, because everyone in the was in the range of Minotaur's heals. That's just where things changed so bad, and Rayuga just lost it out. Their main damage dealers, they got caught out by the Minotaur. They got taken down by Gentlemen in just one fell swoop, and the entire thing fell apart from them. And Anarchy, they rose to the top.
It honestly feels like their composition and what they had built up was like a beautiful house of cards, but it only took one fell swoop, just a one gust of wind to make it fall over. It really felt like it was strong, but it was not, because it fell down crippling. It feels sad. It was so sudden that Team Anarchy just destroyed them. But overall, Rayuga, they have been, after all, an wildcard stage team. After all, they came in here competing with other Mythic leaderboard teams, and they were able to actually knock out other Mythic leaderboard teams, which is a feat of its own. And that too, being in from not from the obviously the East, the Bengal server, so they did face some ping issues. So despite that, they pushed through and they were able to push it into round number 5. But of course, sometimes if luck doesn't favor you, sometimes it's just that you have to practice and get better. Overall, I'm wishing them the best. Rayuga, I hope to see them again and again. And of course, congratulations for Anarchy to be the last team to join the playoffs, the H team. And right now, we're going to be moving to the playoff stages soon. tomorrow we'll most likely have the live draws, and we will see who's going to be facing against each other. And that's going to be it for today's match. Sarah, do you have anything to say?
Well, that was a beautiful try coming in from the side of Rayuga, especially making it this far against all the top dogs. So best wishes to them, and I hope they continue their journey in other tournaments. And good luck to Anarchy for moving on from the playoffs to the higher stages. We'll be very excited to watch their gameplay from here on. And that's all. Good night, everyone. Take care and have a good day ahead.
Good night, everyone.
ये तारा इनको बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे परफेक्ट।
In time immemorial, the endless war destroyed the balance between yin and yang, plunging the Cadia Riverlands into chaos. As catastrophe loomed, a woman of destiny stepped forth, casting aside divinity for the plight of mortals.
Sacrifice for a fleeting moment of peace in the mortal realm. Does thine heart not regret?
To protect the realm. What is there to regret?
This day, destiny descends once more. Zutian the Ordained, of untold merit and unbound benevolence, preserver of peace and prosperity, unfaded by time. This day, let heaven and earth bear witness as the Phoenix ascends the throne, a realm united toward a new golden age.
From time forgotten to the new dawn, as long as I breathe, Shandu shall never fade!
Now you'll be the best sniper ever!
I'm sorry.
Leave me alone.
No! It's a decoy! Ever since that day, I vowed to keep you safe.
Rule with strength and conviction. Blossom with grace and compassion. My strategy spans centuries for those I silently guard. From ashes to empress, my rebirth is eternal. The Phoenix reigns!
ये तारा इनको बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे पॉपअप।
In time immemorial, the endless war destroyed the balance between yin and yang, plunging the Cadia Riverlands into chaos. As catastrophe loomed, a woman of destiny stepped forth, casting aside divinity for the plight of mortals.
Sacrifice for a fleeting moment of peace in the mortal realm. Does thine heart not regret?
To protect the realm. What is there to regret?
This day, destiny descends once more. Zutian the Ordained, of untold merit and unbound benevolence, preserver of peace and prosperity, unfaded by time. This day, let heaven and earth bear witness as the Phoenix ascends the throne, a realm united toward a new golden age.
From time forgotten to the new dawn, as long as I breathe, Shandu shall never fade!
Now you'll be the best sniper ever!
I'm sorry.
Leave me alone.
No! It's a decoy! Ever since that day, I vowed to keep you safe.
Rule with strength and conviction. Blossom with grace and compassion. My strategy spans centuries, for those I silently guard. From ashes to empress, my rebirth is eternal. The Phoenix reigns!
ये तारा इनको बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे पॉपअप।
In time immemorial, the endless war destroyed the balance between yin and yang, plunging the Cadia Riverlands into chaos. As catastrophe loomed, a woman of destiny stepped forth, casting aside divinity for the plight of mortals.